Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Good morning to you, Jeannie. How are you? Bom dia from you. Where are you, Jeannie? You don't have to say. I'm just curious there. Thank you for your company this morning. This is the Good Morning Portugal show and the Bom Dia Daily section. Now, I've been I've been caught a little bit unawares this morning. I did send out a message to Tig James, she of Brits in Portugal. And she often gives us a monthly update on what the situation is like for post-Brexit Brits, which, to be fair, is very interesting for other nationalities as well, because she's dealing with the Portuguese immigration administration, and she has some nuggets of information that may be useful for people other than British people who found themselves here before and after Brexit, with whom she is most helpful. Now, I sent the link to the show saying, yes, see you in the morning. And she said, now, this is not the first Monday of the month. It isn't, is it? So that, and I was busy all weekend. I was emceeing a spiritual summit, no less, Rise Beyond. You know that me and Mrs. M do the Moment show. Well, you may or may not know that, but we do a midday show for the Moment on New Reality TV, and they had a summit. They had a wonderful free summit, which they asked me to MC, and I was delighted to do so. And that was really quite interesting, working across American time zones, multiple time zones. I mean, here when we're doing the Good Morning Portugal show, we only have to concern ourselves with this one time zone. I think things are different, aren't they, in the autonomous regions? That I would like a confirmation on. Pete knows the answer to that sort of thing. Dougie might do as well, as a seasoned traveller. But generally speaking, we're dealing with the same time zone. And even in my native UK, it's the same time zone as it is here. I think it does change, does it not, occasionally? But pretty much we're in sync with GMT. Lisbon and GMT. Is that the same all year round? You see my difficulty with managing time zones, and then not only managing time zones, but we had the summit on the Saturday and the Sunday, and the clocks here went forward in the early hours of yesterday morning, adding another spanner into the works. So it's been interesting. I didn't finish till 11 last night, which was what, around 7 p.m. Eastern time. There you go. Reference to the American system. I don't know how they do it. I mean, they have to, obviously. It's, you know, by virtue of where the sun is shining on the earth, and you know where people are on the spinning globe, the time has to be different, of course. But that as we spin, it's a fluid movement, isn't it? But as we create time zones, they're hard and fast lines, you know, conceptual lines, aren't they, that are drawn up, because you can't do it you have to do it in hourly changes rather than just a gradual shift. Although one of the speakers, Tom Evans, his talk was top meditation instructor from Insight Timer, and his topic was temporal alchemy, changing your mind to change your time. And he was suggesting that we measure our movement in miles, that the amount that the earth has moved in any given time, rather than the amount of minutes, amount of miles. But then there'll be another conversation, wouldn't there? Should it be in kilometers or should it be in miles? Anyway, suffice to say that I thought this was the first Monday of April. Turns out it's not. So Tig won't be with us. James will be with us, I hope, nonetheless, at 8:20. And I'm looking to you for content. If you want to send me a message with images, pictures of your wonderful weekend, and a wonderful weekend it was. I know I was in front of a computer for most of the time, but I did manage to get out. I was introducing the segments and popping out from time to time and enjoying the sun trap that I've created at the front of our house, surrounded by plants. The weather is back, the Portuguese weather that we know and love. I'm looking out at a blue sky through the studio window this morning. So if you had a beautiful weekend and you've got some pictures to prove it, please send them on 913-590-303. The virtual mailbag, really, for the Good Morning Portugal show. Not only Jeannie King with us, Bom Dia from a sunny Lisbon. How lovely for you. And yes, I caught sight of some beautiful pictures of the family in Lisbon. How is it down there? I mean, Lisbon is at its best, no question, in the beautiful sunshine. Pete here. What a beautiful morning it is. Come on, send us a picture from the deck, Pete, your big deck. Bom Dia ALEGRIA. What a beautiful morning it is over there in central Portugal. And our morningly tonic. What's that? Can we start selling a health tonic? The Gumper juice, maybe. Am I your virtual Gumper juice this morning? In Santa Fe, New Mexico, 1 a.m. in the morning. Oh, my goodness, Jeannie, thank you so much. So you know all about those time zones I'm talking about. And the pool in central Portugal is officially open. Very good. Nice to hear that, Pete. The covers have been withdrawn, and Pete's swimming pool, which is used as a navigation aid by pilots in central Portugal, is now officially open. Have you told the air traffic control that you'll be switching the lights on, Pete? The Azores are an hour ahead of us, just like 30 minutes away in Spain, and East Timor 8 hours. Oh, so half hours, really? So they're 30 minutes away to drive, but they're an hour ahead. You see, this is the sort of thing that messes with my mind, Peter. East Timor, for some reason, 8 hours ahead. Why are we mentioning East Timor? Because of a Portuguese connection previously. Bon dia from Pam. Good morning to you, Pam. I recommended you and your charity that you work for. It is ReFood, isn't it? To somebody who was looking for a stall to donate at a craft fair that's coming up, and part of their game plan is to give 2 stalls to charities, and I put your name forward for that. I hope you don't mind. And morning, Pete from Douglas. Where are you, Douglas, this morning, if I may pry as well? Okay, we'll have a look at that weather because it's worth looking at the moment, I would say. Let's have a look at the Good Morning Portugal website for that. We'll go to the Portugal Club as well, because we've got some catching up to do on the Portuguese sayings, which are fabulous, that Antonio F has been supplying, and a few maps and memes as well. There are so many. There's a real trend, isn't there, in maps and memes. Certainly maps, excellent maps that are coming out, and I collect all the Portugal maps and amass them together at the Portugal Club. Should we have a look at the weather first then? Because I also want to tell you about a village that's for sale, an abandoned village. Now, you know, sometimes you'll see on a quiet news day, usually, you'll see village for sale, and it'll be €1. So not even €9. Up, yes, higher. If you want to buy an abandoned village in Portugal, quality here, not quantity, it's 9 million, not €9, 9 million euros, in fact. And it's a fabulous place. Maybe a few of us should just put some of our small change together and buy it. Oh, back in Wales, Cymru. I brought the iffy Iberian weather back to the UK. You could probably buy it. It's going cheap at the moment, isn't it? Some of the weather here. But I think we've turned that corner. Just as you left and have gone home. I'm sure there's no connection, Doug, but the weather was fabulous over the weekend. It really was. I saw pictures from our beach here, and the locals seemed quite surprised that it was so busy on the last few days of March here in San Martino de Porto. Right, weather first then, and as we await the arrival of James, finding out how he's getting on in Espinho, in his new home, his adventure continues. Check out his latest videos, Old Guy in Europe. We will go to the weather first and see what's what for the forward weather forecast. Look at our lovely website there. goodmorningportugal.com. Funnily enough, that's the website address, and I'll click on the weather tab and we'll have a look at what's going on. The Spartan FX weather. Right. Look at that. That's what you see. A week or two ago, all you could see. Oh no. Oh no. I've been hoist on my own petard here. Basically, enjoy it today because those cloudy icons are back. What? Oh, of course, yeah. Em Gabriel Águas Mil. Talking of Portuguese sayings, yes, true to the time-honoured saying of in April, 1,000 rains. Yes, as if the weather has a diary. Basically, April starts tomorrow, and the cloud and possible rain will be back as well. Let's have a little bit of a deeper dive into this then. Lisbon at the moment is 12 degrees, a beautiful day being enjoyed by the Bartons there. It'll rise to 22. That'll be very comfortable and nice, won't it? Very good for Lisbon's cafe culture. However, the cloud returns tomorrow, and some rain. Rain later on this week. Moderate rain, though, isn't that nice? It's sort of centrist. Nothing far right or far left about the rain. Just moderate rain coming towards the country. Porto, similar situation, I think. Yeah, it's going to be cloudy on Tuesday in both the capital and Porto, but for the rest of the week, rainy by the look of it. 21 degrees the high there today. Coimbra 25. Look at that. Coimbra often leads the way with high temperatures and big differentials as well. Look at this. Currently 6, rising to 25. Faro, where Deagle is, and Minister for Home Affairs having a lovely break here. 15 degrees, clear sky, and it's going to go up to an almighty 17 Deagle for you. However, raining tomorrow down there, showery. Let's call it showery and expect some sunshine in between the showers. Up in the north, 10 degrees in Braga at the moment, rising to 25. That's going to be a beautiful day up there in Braga. And a similar picture all over the country. Enjoy the sun today because the cloud and rain will return for the rest of the week. I think highest temperature, 25 then, in Coimbra and Braga. And not even Castelo Branco. Have we got Castelo Branco on here? I thought we did. But yes, we do. Only rising to 22 today. I heard that Castelo Branco was a very popular destination for US arrivals the other day. I didn't realize that. Pete may have a comment on that. And Visio 24, rising to 24. And speaking of those autonomous regions, thank you for the time check there, Peter. 14 degrees with broken clouds in the Azores at the moment. 16 degrees the high and rainy there today. And for the rest of the week, it looks like in the Azores and Madeira. 6 degrees at the moment. Scattered clouds rising to 14 today. None of that sunshine that the rest of us will be having across the whole country, as it turns out. A sunny Monday and a cloudy and rainy rest of the week. That's your weather here on Good Morning Portugal show. Every weekday morning at 8 o'clock. And yes, really, it's only my body is telling me it really feels like it's 12 minutes past 7. I've yet to get used to that. It was a bit of a stretch to leap out of bed this morning. In fact, I didn't leap out of bed. I crept out of bed this morning. How are you doing? Have you taken the time change in your stride? Okay, who's this? Mark Heatrix is here. Went to tour to see the snow on Saturday before it melts. Just wow, I've got a picture. Can't tell us that, Mark, and not send anything to us. 913-590-303. And lots of great feedback coming in from the Spiritual Summit, Rise Beyond, from New Reality TV. Fantastic. Thank you to Mike, who sent a picture as well. In the Praça do Comércio, of course, right there. What a lovely picture of the family. Truly. So they got the shades on there in Lisbon. How lovely. And the pictures before, I'm seeing a beautiful pint of Guinness, which is making my mouth water there. Thank you very much. I'll share that picture in just a moment. Not the Guinness, but the family having a great time in Lisboa, Praça do Comércio. And some lovely pictures in from João do Norte in Coimbra over the weekend. We are, of course, will be in Coimbra in 2 weeks' time with the Expats Portugal community. We'll be in Coimbra having a weekend, and John will be with us tomorrow and to share his Coimbra slideshow tomorrow. Great work, by the way. Oh, one thing I can share from John, wife Pam took the most beautiful photograph of the sunset yesterday. Obviously, when you have a beautiful sunny day in Portugal, you often have a beautiful sunset to climax the day. It was certainly no exception to that rule up there in Ponte Lima. Let me bring that onto the screen for you. This is absolutely delightful. Thank you very much for thinking of us, John and Pam. Let's go first to Lisbon then. Isn't that's how Lisbon should look. Praça do Comércio there. Thank you very much. You do look like you're having a good time there in Lisbon. That came in on 913-590-303. And what a beautiful contrast. Mark's comment about snow up on the tour there. And if I just remove your comment for a moment, see this photo in its full glory. The spring flowers in the meadow there. The path running across. I'm seeing that as running from left to right for some reason. It's just the way the eye and the mind work together, isn't it? And the sun setting, silhouetting that tree on the horizon. Great photograph, Pam. What a great eye you have. Let me just leave that on the screen. Bad weather wasn't your fault. No. And I'm not going to let you claim the good weather either. So JMC also with us this morning. Thank you, JMC. Uh, Hi, by the way, in March, have a sweater at hand. It's easy to get sick. That sounds like some good Portuguese advice there. Zumba la bamba, says JMC by way of oh, okay. Good morning, Vietnam. And Gemini also with us. Good morning. Solar Life. Yes. What? I heard they are having a lot of rain in Fuseta. And yes, I will. Okay. Okay. I'm missing bits of the conversation here. More excuses to just eat loads of lovely fish and fruits of the sea. I think I'm still missing a little bit of context there, but it's still great advice. I had myself after the work of the weekend, and in true Portuguese style, having my dinner just before midnight last night. I had pan fried dourada, a few capers in there, lots of butter, a bit of olive oil, some Portuguese potatoes, and some beans that I'd sliced along the bean, and they were nice and crunchy. And I just gave them a quick flash fry in the fishy butter. Oh my goodness, stop it, Carl. Was delicious. Oh, cheers, Mark. Wife sending photos now. 913-590-303 of the tour. That's fantastic. Thank you. And Antonio Barbosa, it's Tony time. Bit of premature Tony time. He'll be with us tomorrow morning as well with news from the north. Bon dia from a warm and sunny Villanova to Cervera. Happy Monday and a great week ahead from Tony there. Now, this is a sort of listing we would expect Tony to have. We're going to go to the Spanish border now and take a look at a historic property for sale. Yours for 9 million euros. It's a bargain, actually, when you find out what is included in the particulars of this property, thanks to the Portugal news for this, picking up on this. Some of the other news, a bit grim this morning, actually, combing the Portuguese news in both the resident and the Portugal news. This caught my eye, however. Historic property for sale. And this is yours, yes, for 9 million euros. Discover the farm that was lost in time. It was once self-sufficient with everything you needed to live independently. Right, I'm going to give you a look at the... look at it, it's got its own, what's that called? Labyrinth style formal garden there beyond its own castle wall. This is an amazing place. I hope you can see that on the screen there. And this photograph by Keith Pimental, I think that sounds like a real English and Portuguese combo, doesn't it? Keith Pimental. Have a look at that. We'll have a sip of tea for a moment and think. Imagine what fun us Gumpers could be having there. Hold on. Oh, that was nice. Nice cup of tea with some honey in it this morning. Our voice is still not quite right. Mrs. M really is struggling to get over this bug that all of us have had in some way or other here in Cousin Munson. Right, according to Postal, what is that? Postal.pt. I'm going to open that up on another tab. I'm not familiar with that news source there. In the heart of the municipality of Marvão. Marvão, yes, on the Spanish border. Near, what's the other town that's close to where Astrid has a place? Forget now. But yes, this is a wonderful part of Portugal. Incredible views, actually. In the heart of the Alentejo, the Pereiro estate, once a prosperous farming village, is now uninhabited and abandoned. Can you believe it? This historic property, which once employed around 1,000 people, so not only a 9 million euro price tag, but if you take it back to its former glory, 1,000 times the minimum wage. That's quite a big... I mean, that's assuming you are employing everybody on the minimum wage. But let's say you were, and you probably couldn't. You'd have to have some sort of structure, wouldn't you, to run a village of that size? 1,000 people on the minimum wage. That's a hell of a wage bill. And it functioned as a true self-sufficient village. What a wonderful vision. It's currently priced for sale at 9 million euros. Despite its immense potential, the high price and advanced state of degradation have put... Look, James arrives just as we talk about an advanced state of degradation behind the scenes there. See you in a couple of minutes, James. Have put off potential buyers, leaving the place to fall into silence and ruin. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it, how a dilapidated, degraded, by their admission, place like that can still be worth 9 million euros. Anyway, the Pereiro estate occupies a habitable area of 20,000 square meters set in 80 hectares of olive groves and cork oak forests. just a few kilometers from the border with Spain. This property was acquired in 1931 by João Nunes Sequeira, one of the region's greatest entrepreneurs of the 20th century. But there's an amazing story behind him and the Sequeira name. This visionary transformed the estate into a functioning village with houses, a school, a nursery, a chapel, a canteen, a casino, an airfield, and even the Fadagoza spa complex, attracting visitors and workers from all over the region, all over the world, if you reopen that bad boy. Incredible place. So I'm just having a quick look at what Postal is. Let me just see. I have to just make the cookie selection there. Oh, it looks like a general news site, Postal. Anyone else familiar with that? Okay, well, that gives me another news source to look at first thing in the morning. Right, so James is with us now. I'm going to come back to some Portuguese sayings, thank you, and courtesy of Antonio F. And also some of those maps and memes we'll have a little look at as well after we've spent 20 minutes or so with James. Ocean Dweller Aviva, boa semana. From you there as well. And JMC says, if I had 9 million, I wouldn't bother with a farm. I'd invest in stocks instead. You see, the modern entrepreneur doesn't want bricks and mortar anymore, do they? You probably want a bit of crypto and a mixed portfolio of non-tangible assets possibly there. But what a shame. Maybe those sorts of places are just consigned to another time and another way of being for human beings. Right, so let's play his music, shall we? And see him after this. Swing.
Bom dia!
Olá, bom dia, tudo bem?
Muito bem, obrigado.
Muito
Contigo.
I'm pouco cansado. Look, James, let's be honest, right? It's 22 minutes past 7, okay? And we're just pretending it's 22 minutes past 8. Come on, be fair.
Yeah, I saw something, I think yesterday, about how it was all, maybe it was you. Oh, it was you. It was a post you
The
made
intelligence test.
time and giving up an hour every day. And I just couldn't put my brain out. How does that work? Wait, it shifts twice a year, but anyway, I just let it go.
I have to with these time zones. I was moaning earlier on about my inability to deal with time zones. Actually, I can ask you, what is it like as an American living with that? Your country is spread across, I think are there 5 or 6 in total, but you use only 3 or 4. Say again?
It's 8 hours to California. There's 4 time zones across the continental U.S.
Yes.
So, and I have clients in California whose clock changes 2 weeks before ours does. So I get to do a little clock dance twice, 4 times a year. Like, you're 7, you're 9? No, how many?
Okay, so it doesn't get any easier. You've lived with that all your life. And there's nothing that can be done about the time zones because they are by virtue of our sort of astronomical state, aren't they? The way the light shines on the earth governs that. Yeah. However,
depending on what country you live in, and how, like, Portugal extends that time zone. I think it's the Greenwich Mean Time farther west in order to incorporate Madeira.
Yes, yeah, right. But the spring, and that's fair enough, isn't it? We have to have a way of managing that. But then to throw in the added bonus and mind-bending spring saving time is not helpful to people.
Yeah, I don't get it. Some people said, well, it had to do with farming back in the day, and it's like, I don't know, historically that didn't match or whatever. And then people say, oh, it's better for the environment because you'd have, you don't turn the lights on as early at night, but in the morning it's darker. So I don't know.
I'm going to blame the far right and the far left for this.
It's like, why are we doing this? Just keep the whole world on the same time. It'd be so much simpler.
Wouldn't it just? But well, then again, if we look at ourselves as a species, we don't always do things for that reason, do we? This would just be easier, guys.
Why do you do that? Because it's always been done that way. I think that's the number one reason.
Yes, that's right. And also the other thing that humans say, it'll be too difficult to change it now. So we'll just have to put up with this.
No more difficult not to change it than, I mean, to leave it alone than it is to change it, I think. I mean,
right.
Yes. Everyone has to schedule it. So everyone needs to be alert and make an adjustment twice a year versus never.
And as you often say, the time is now. That's the truth of it.
That's
the time
exactly
is now. And the time now for Bobby. Thanks for joining us, Bobby. Bobby's on tour here, dealing with time zones all over the world, not just in the United States. In New York, it sounds like your body clock hasn't adjusted yet then, Bobby. 3:23. Now watching you Tuesday. I'm in LA. Good heavens. Right. This is Bobby's tour. Look at all these exciting places he's going to. Flying the flag for Portugal here. New York then for the next couple of days. Tomorrow. I wonder what it's going to be like on the 1st of April in New York. Then you're going to Los Angeles, Dubai, Riyadh, back to Dubai. He likes Dubai. I think you can get a good pint of Guinness there. Beirut, Dallas, and Houston. What a tour, Bobby. Sharing the news of the golden visa route. I think and other visas coming into Portugal. Oh, and one I've hidden there, I think, if I just remove your comment for a moment, Bobby. Yes, you're in London between the 20th and 23rd of May. Did you see me, Bobby, on British television? Feel free to use my segment on Good Morning with Kat Deely and Ben Shepherd. If you want to do a little bit of promotion for Portugal in the media or the medium that they understand over there on Good Morning, the ITV show. So good luck with that tour, Bobby. Looks like you're going to be having a lot of, well, I was going to say a lot of fun. It's work, of course. I see an itinerary like that, James. I'm thinking, yay, that's going to be great fun. But I imagine he's going to be in a lot of hotel office suites, isn't he? Talking to people about visas there. So I hope that's very successful and useful for you there, Bobby.
A very confused body.
Yes, right.
Time and sleep. Am I supposed to sleep now? When do I eat? When do I sleep?
Yes, that's right. When you're hungry and when you need to. Obviously,
exactly.
not if you're face to face with a client. I need to sleep and eat now. Right, okay. Well, all the best with that, Bobby. And Jim White, our dear friend Jim White is with us this morning with a Bom Dia Todos. We've got a few more greetings to share here, James. Are you all right? I don't know if you heard my explanation before. Are you all right staying on a little bit longer this morning? Because I was expecting Tig this morning, and it's not the first Monday, is it? It's an extra Monday, an unexpected Monday in the baggage.
Last Monday, yes, the 5th one. Yeah, I'm happy to stay.
Good, because you're here every Monday, whereas Tig's here on the first Monday. So same link, Tig. See you next Monday. I imagine she's going to be talking about that I'm a contact form. Right, Aviva here also. That's a village where us Gumpers could live. I have to have trillions to spend on that kind of property. Yeah, it would just be a cash hole. It really would. Oh, we're not big enough for Peter. Okay, let's keep looking then. Karen, is that you, Karen, with Jackie there? Good morning to Karen and Jackie in the UK. Thank you for being here, Karen. Although I suspect you didn't have much to say about that. It was Jackie who said, I'm just going to switch the radio on and listen to this weird guy in Portugal. Good morning to you, Karen.
And
we're in a quiet zone.
That was my sister's name. So hello, Karen.
Hello, Karen. There you go from James. I guess a project well studied and presented to the right people might have a chance of a subsidy. Okay, so a bit of a European subsidy on that one as well. And thank you, Mr. S, for complimenting me. Giving me muito bem on my pronunciation there. You like to live dangerously. Even Portugal, as well as the UK, Denmark, France, and Germany have put the US on the danger to travelers. That's a little bit over the top, isn't it? Come on. I regularly miss appointments during this staggered time zone phase, or is it age? I'm not sure. Would you care to comment on that, James? And that must happen in the States a lot, right? I'm sorry, it was a time zone thing.
Well, yes. Fortunately for me, I have a very minimal number of clients, and I have scheduled to see them all on the same day. So I only have to work that particular puzzle out once a month. But yeah, I don't think that's age related at all. That's just circumstantial. It's like I happen to be here and they're there, and the time zones change. Those things. Oh, what do I control? None of that. Only my thoughts, my words, and my actions. I can change my clock and I can call my clients on time. That's what I can do.
Yes, that's right. And hope for the best. Fingers crossed. Look, see, here's someone who loves it. Means we have more usable daylight time after a working day to socialize and enjoy the day. People wouldn't use the extra daylight hour in the morning. Okay. All right.
So why not leave it right where it is now? And that would be true all the time.
Yes, but then that would have an effect at the other end. Yeah, why don't we just keep putting the clock forward and see what happens
until we get into another day, another week? What year is this? How do we get into this year? We're a year early.
or just random announcements every now and then. I'm sure there are certain world leaders.
2026.
Yes, it's now 5:30 everywhere. Have fun, right? As far too difficult to change. Oh, Sweden woke up one morning. Oh yeah, this is a famous Swedish side of the road. Was it a debacle or not? Sweden woke up one morning in 1974, I think it was, and started driving on the right-hand side of the road, having previously driven on the left. It's not working. Go back. That is really brave, I think, isn't it? You need a small population.
I suspect they had planned that for at least months.
Yeah, it wasn't just announced that morning.
Is everyone on the wrong side of the road today?
That's right. But they do have some of the safest cars. So they would have done that with some confidence with all those Volvos and Saabs over there. Yes, residency by investment, Mr. S there. Reach out to Bobby if you'd like to know more. People are waiting for their residency permits since 2022. Right. But don't worry, because the Portuguese government are going to put the clock back to 2022 and everything's going to be fine. 2 years.
We announced it as 3 years ago.
Bom Dia Portugal. We're having too much fun with this. It's not funny. Morning to you, John. I'll see you tomorrow. And the US has the Hawaiian time. That's got pineapple on it, I think, isn't it? Is that right? We have pineapple on the clock for your Hawaiian time, which is several hours earlier than continental US. Hey!
Yeah, that would be a major zig and a zag to get that far. That's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean from the coast of California. It's like, no, we got to include that in its own time zone.
Sounds like Mel is an absolutist here. The time is the time, as Descartes or Galileo once said. We are really only changing the schedule for our day. Yeah, well, that's right. For our daily work commits to fit better with daylight. It's true. It's true. Very practical.
Yeah, from a cosmic scale, it doesn't give a crap.
Exactly. A bit late this morning. Was working on homework for language class. Ah!
Speaking of time.
Can we help, John? If there's any questions we can help with, and I don't know if you're allowed. I mean, this would be great because we could all get the A2 if we help John, possibly as well. That's why I took the SIPL. I would have detested taking the course, says Mr. S. What would you expect from moose lovers? That's quite the accusation about Canada. I've never heard them referred to as that. Mr. S says Canada has 5 time zones, James. Atlantic as well, which the US doesn't. Okay.
Well, and I guess Hawaii actually is still in a U.S. time zone. It's just 3 hours farther east.
Yeah, that's right. I thought there were more than 5, actually, Mr. S. We love doing our course, says Pete. Even have a friend who is terminally ill and won't live to the end of the course. My goodness, who loves doing it. But we have long breaks and lots of fun learning the language. That's commitment, isn't it? Incredible. Mark me down in the column for those who want to be rid of the time changes 2 times a year. Just put one a stick. Just pick one and stick with it. Yeah, fair enough. I think so. I think that could be like ripping the plaster off, but at least we'll know where we stand. They are residing. What's the permit for? Don't obsess over a piece of paper. There you go. With great advice. Yeah, the time is now, and don't obsess over a piece of paper. I think we've nailed it this morning. I think our work here is done, James.
Perhaps. I just want to add one thing on that piece of paper. I've heard several Portuguese say, don't worry about it, but It's easy if you are a Portuguese citizen. It's easy if you have Portuguese residency. It might be easy. Well, I guess everyone's going to have a passport, but the thing is, it restricts travel. Because Portugal will say, oh, it's fine. You don't need to worry about renewing it. You're a resident. We know that. But then try to leave and come back, or try to leave, and go some other country and come back without that and a piece of paper that says you are, and they'll go, we don't recognize that piece of paper. Sorry, can't do it.
Hold on a minute. Do you not think that border officials aren't happy with you just saying the government said it was fine?
Trust me, they told me it was okay. Said every arms and drugs dealer.
I heard it on the Good Morning Portugal show. They said it would be fine. Oh exactly. My goodness. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is when the problems begin.
Yeah, there is a place to relax, clearly. And if you don't want to travel outside of the country, it's just not an issue.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of the immigrants in Portugal are in big part here because they want to travel. They want to go to all the other European countries, and they want to explore and do that. And I suppose you can do it, but you're kind of trusting luck every time. It just depends on who's going to accept that paper and who isn't, and whether they're going to deport you or what are they going to do?
Maybe we can have our own, given that we're dealing with quite a lot of world issues here and our solutions to them. And I think our solutions are very good. I think we need an extra lane. At all international airports, there needs to be a lane for Portuguese people who do not worry about such things. Sorted. Right?
Yeah, don't worry. Just worry. We don't even need to check. That wouldn't even be a line, just a gate. Just walk through.
The government said it would be fine. Let them through. I think that's great. And the other thing we could do is possibly have a website, which is things when Portuguese people tell you not to worry about it, because it's good advice, generally speaking, isn't it? And I can hear Portuguese friends and Portuguese people saying, "Oh, you don't want to worry about a bit of paper. You don't want to worry about X, Y, or Z. Calma, tranquilo." But there are a few exceptions, and this is one of them, I think, isn't it? This is the point.
Well, and I think when it comes to day-to-day life in Portugal, that's a really good way to approach life. And I don't think it does interfere. Not worrying about things is not going to get you into trouble if you are a resident and living in Portugal. It's all the bother outside of the country that becomes a challenge.
Yes, that's right.
And there's the issue of, do I like the driver's license? I could have been driving all those years illegally without a license. And many Portuguese said, don't worry about it. It's like, well, I won't worry about it until I'm pulled over and don't have a legitimate license. Then I'll start worrying, It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Yes, and fortunately for me, I don't own a car. I'm not required to drive. So I've been able to make use of public transportation. But I don't know. There's clearly a difference. I don't know that it's cultural. It might be geographic, but the needs of immigrants are different than the needs of the citizenship population. And therefore, some of the rules make a bigger difference to one group than they do to the other. So you can't just say, one size fits all, don't worry.
Yeah. And as you say, it's an 80-20 thing, isn't it? 80% of the time, it's fantastic advice. Then there's that really scary 20% of the time, which feels like 80%, because you've got a border official or a policeman saying, they said, what?
What is this? What is this? This is not a passport. This is not a residency card. Your residency card is expired. What do you go away?
Yes. How do you go away? How do you go away in those sort of situations? Right.
Yes.
Back the way you came, I suppose, would be the smart answer to that.
And the worry is never necessary. I mean, worry doesn't accomplish anything.
No, that's true.
Being anxious doesn't change anything, but it's understandable.
Yeah. We need a strategy, don't we?
You never have to worry. So that's in a way, that's actually universal truth. Don't worry.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that's it, isn't it? Ideally, you want to take some practical action, and that's where it's becoming frustrating for people because they can't get it sorted out practically.
Yeah, okay. What would work is don't worry, just don't travel. That would work.
Yes, there you go. If you, worry-free travel. Don't
just stay in the country.
Sweden changed lanes in the September of '67. Oh, thank you for the pictures. I've received the tour pictures. They are fabulous. and we'll see some snow in Portugal in a moment. Sweden changed lanes in September of 1967, and accidents went down because of the heightened awareness campaigns. Yes, often that works, doesn't it, as a strategy, but you can't keep people on adrenaline permanently. Our homework was an image of a galactic nebula or something.
Oh, that's quizzish, isn't
That's
it?
quite specific, and then not. And we had to write an article which addresses all the questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. You need a science guy for this, James. You could have helped with a galactic nebula, couldn't you?
No.
Or is that a medical condition? Or
I'd have to refer to the various astrophysicists that I enjoy watching their videos.
Yeah, okay.
Carl Sagan, can you come in here?
Not Carl Munson.
Answer this guy's question.
Carl Munson is notably missing when it comes to such big questions. I'd have that down as a medical condition. And it sounds like something that's quite swollen and would need to be rested or have some cream put on it. I've got a galactic nebula, which accounts for the strange way I'm walking at the moment. Residence paperwork important. There you go. If you need to travel or even apply for loans. Oh, and other legalities. Don't worry about legalities. Right. I passed the SIPL with bon, but I deserved a muito bon. He sounds bitter. Do you not think?
Yeah, I remember there was some kind of issue with a question being wrong.
Oh, that's right. He's not over it, though, is he? He's not over it. Okay.
Well, I thought I remember that he said he got it satisfied or taken care of, but I could have been remembering incorrectly.
Okay. If you think you're having a difficult day, it could be worse. You could be having to deal with interrogatives and conjunctions. A great way to get to, as you can start making a few sentences. Okay, we'll take your word for that.
So funny, the words we use to identify grammar, interrogative, it basically is a question.
It doesn't help, does it? It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Conjunctions are just what put things together. And, but, or, it's like, why does it need to sound so intimidating?
Yes, exactly. He's a teacher. It's part of his professionalism.
Well, and it's how you teach a language. Apparently, when you're teaching grammar, you have to understand what those things are. When they say put the conjunction has to be this, or that, and when that happens, this happens. You have to understand what a conjunction is. But when you just put it all in one sentence, it sounds, ooh,
yes,
I'll never be able to do that.
Well, here's another great bit of Portuguese advice. You will notice the law doesn't work in the same way as the US's does. Thank you.
Yes, many Portuguese or jokes about Portuguese law I've heard is they're more like suggestions.
Exactly, life-serving suggestions, not to be taken too seriously. Doing my tractor license later in the year entirely in Portuguese should be fun. What do you mean? As in you've got to you're going on a tractor test. Now that will be hilarious. Presumably is there a special part of that where you have to park outside a cafe and drink aguardente as part of the course there, Peter? I wonder.
The problem with writing is you can't see whether it's sarcastic or genuine. And that one can be taken either way and be completely accurate. I think literally. I think he's going to have a ball. He's learning the language. He's driving a tractor and he's practicing Portuguese.
Living the dream. Living the dream. Yeah, that the difficulty in understanding tone gets me into trouble in the text from time to time. Bon dia. Sorry to be late. So Tudo is so great this morning. I had to go look. Wonderful. Good for you. Absolutely. That sounds brilliant. Got a picture. 913-590-303. We will find out how Espino is suiting James as well this morning. That homework isn't right for level A2, says Mr. S. I help a British person with the homework. That sounds like a charity project to me. I help for 50 cents a day. You can help a British person understand Portuguese. Please donate now.
I can just see the sad faces on a black and white video
with a Union Jack in the background, right?
Down and out with a piece of
crumpled Union flag. It's like cold fish and chips and half a mug of tea and some old baked beans.
Music.
Please help this British person understand Portuguese. And it's all nonsense.
People are in desperate need of assistance with their language.
Won't
you help? Just 50 cents a day.
And maybe some like a British person with some really cronky teeth looking up to the camera and going, God blimey, this homework's difficult, Governor. Can you help me?
And then the big smile at the end by the same people.
American hand on his shoulder. There you go, buddy. Excellent.
You and I love our imaginations.
Great music alert. No one knows what we're talking about, James. There's a wonderful Portuguese band called Os Azeitonas. Are they olives? Are they right? The olive oils. They'll be giving out their 20th anniversary concert in Porto on October the 2nd. Some sections are already sold out. Tony Carrera is coming to, I think I'm meant to be keeping this quiet because it's going to be an absolute roadblock in San Martino. Tony Carrera is on his way here as well, and I do it for free. You are a very special person, helping British people with their homework. Mother Teresa comes to mind, don't you think?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, James. Right. It's still a little bit of a mystery. We'll go to Espinho after we've been to the tour, and we've got pictures and video. James, you've not been up there yet? Have you, Serra da Estrela, to the top?
To where?
To the Serra da Estrela tour, where you can see that's Portugal, friends.
It's a bit longer walk. Public transportation is not all that readily available, and
yes,
I only just recently got my license, so. I don't know if you know.
Shut the road. They shut the road anyway when it snows.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Look at that, though. Look at that vista.
Yeah. And it's particularly beautiful. We talked about this before with the weather, when it's a contrast to something else. And Portugal gets snow in the mountains, but what I've heard, not a lot. And even there, you're looking at, what is that? 6 inches or what?
Hard to tell from this. Yeah, I mean, enough to. I think those are either skiers or penguins, aren't they? Probably penguins. Let's go with penguins.
Just enough to layer down that you can ski on. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, not too bad. Now, the thing about Portugal is you could have been there skiing, I think probably over the weekend, probably Saturday because it started to melt. But you could drive from there to San Martino de Porto, for example, and have a swim in the bay. Where else in the world can you do that? Fantastic. And look, walk up there with the dogs. Don't eat the yellow snow. A reminder to when people are walking their dogs, do not play with the brown or yellow snow up there.
I don't know why you would ever eat snow unless you were desperate for water.
Then you wouldn't be bothered what color it was.
Out in the middle of nowhere, in which case it more than likely wouldn't be yellow.
That's my favorite comment, really. Sentiment of the morning, James. I don't know why people would eat snow anyway. Kind of vibes. Okay, right. A bit of video.
Yeah, if you've got time.
Oh, nice. That looks like such fun. Thank you, Mark, for those. I think it was Jane who sent the
photo. He was really looking forward to the slide, and he just went
straight over.
Too much friction, kid.
Got to be done.
Get a cardboard, get a piece of plastic.
That's right. That's right. And in the UK, there would have been someone standing there selling sledges at an extortionate price, but not in Portugal. I think you can use
50 cents a day. You can help this.
British person afford a sledge, right? How's Espinho, James? How's it going up there?
Oh, well, weather-wise, it's just been beautiful, and I've been consistent with what I thought would be true for me. I'm getting out almost every day and walking. And doing some exploring. Sometimes I go out to see if I can find a certain place that I've been trying to locate. Sometimes I just go out to walk, and sometimes I'm taking care of errands. So, but it's all on foot. I was curious. I have an exercise app, and it said, change in elevation 11 meters. And then it kept coming up 11 meters. I said, when am I going up or downhill? It's all flat. And then I realized, oh, that's the overpass that goes over the train tracks. It's 11 meters high, apparently. So I go up, across, and down. So I get 2 11-meter changes in elevation just getting to the beach. So
yes.
Otherwise, it's relatively flat. Yeah. And
how is that happening at all then? Is that just you losing yourself in a shopping center along the way?
Well, I'm sorry, I missed the question.
How are you getting such changes in a place that's notoriously flat?
Well, that's what I just said. It's the overpass that I go.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Right, so I missed that bit.
11 meters up and 11 meters down.
Oh, okay. I thought you
over the train tracks to get to the beach.
Forgive me. I thought you'd inadvertently wandered into one of those well-hidden shopping centers in Portugal that you can.
I think I'd have to walk at least half a kilometer to the east to get an 11-meter change in altitude. I don't know what elevation.
Okay, so an extra workout for you, where you were anticipating a nice flat walk to the beach, but
oh no, I've ever since I moved, one of the reasons that this location worked for me is because the short walk to the beach was possible because of that overpass.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have to walk, so much distance into town and then across and then back if I wanted to be in a straight line to where I started. So that overpass was a great thing. It's right at the end of my street. So it's just like straight down over and I'm on the beach. It takes 4
is it
minutes.
meant for pedestrians? It's a safe thing. Oh, okay.
It's all it is. It's a pedestrian walkway that goes.
Okay, I overpass it in my mind from a sort of UK perspective. I've got you battling with traffic on an overpass. Okay, that's good.
And it's actually I've discovered that the first couple of times I tend to I walked past the stairs because there's extra space at the end, either end where the elevators are, and I don't take the elevator. So I think I'm going to the stairs at the end, and it's like, oh wait, oh there's the stairs over there. But on the beach side, because it's at the very end, there's a rail. You can stand and just look out on the entire beach, north and south, as far as you can see. This is a nice perspective, and then you go down and get on the beach. And you can get a look at what the weather's like, what the waves are like, that kind of stuff before you actually hit the beach. But yesterday was actually warm. I actually was a little too warm with a long sleeve shirt. I always take a jacket and my sweatshirt, and I'm dressed for winter in long sleeves, but I didn't need any of that yesterday.
I was thinking yesterday it was getting too hot as well, and I'm ready to moan about how hot it is, but that's a bit too early in the year, I think.
Too early. I want to wait.
I will hold on that for the time.
Mid-April, maybe.
But generally speaking, you're enjoying life there, by the sound of it.
Oh yes, yeah, I'm enjoying the exploring. I'm in the great mix of trying to figure out where things are, because the internet is just not a way you find things in Portugal.
Oh, right. Yes.
Ooh, I wonder if there's a souvenir shop, because one of the things I like to do is collect a little like duplo sized coffee mug that is from a specific place. So you can say, oh, that was a Espinho, or oh, that was Ericeira. And I get online, I do searches for souvenir shops in Espinho, I look in tourism stores. Nah, and then I walk down the street, I go, oh, this might work. And I wander in and go, oh, there's some things, but it's not dedicated to just that. So it's sort of a mini Chinese store that had a few mugs that were different than any. Anyway, it's just familiarizing myself with where those things are, and I don't know enough local Portuguese people yet to say, hey, where would I find this?
Okay.
Bothering my property owners every day for where do I find this? Where do I find this? And I know Katerina would be more than happy to tell me. She said, ask anything you want. I'm happy to answer your questions anytime, but I don't want to feel like a bother too much. So
the quest for the Espinho espresso mug still remains on.
Yeah, and I did the same thing in Ericeira and didn't find what it's a very specific thing. It's not something I have to have, so I'm patient with it. But
you're talking about mementos, aren't you? But you're more
not quite that. Not the Bika size. I'm looking for something a little bit. There you go. Yes. I don't want the sort of standard US 12 or 16 ounce mug like the Portugal Good Morning Portugal mug you have behind you, because I don't use them. They're too big. And the little espresso size I would use from time to time, but typically I like just about twice that, which is called a duplo. Two bikas basically. So it's it's more like a teacup size, basically.
Yes. Okay. Well, I imagine a few people will be keeping their eye out for you now. Having Espinho printed on it takes it to another level.
Well, and more than just the print, I saw a mug, but it was a big mug that said Espinho, where the streets have no names.
Oh, very good.
So something that's really kind of specific to the area, not just here's a generic mug and stamp Espinho.
Explain that, James. very unusual in that regard, right?
Yeah. And that's, as I realize it, there are some things that I look for. Part of the pleasure is in the seeking.
Yeah, right.
Looking for. Like I'm a birder. I love to look at birds and figure out who they are and what they are and who's here. And I'm looking for a particular bird, but I haven't seen it. And I know that it comes to this area. So there's a certain, it's not a thrill, but a excitement to the discovery of things. And so this kind of fits into that category. And all of that is collecting. It's collecting bird species. It's collecting mugs. It's all a way of collecting sort of unique things for me.
Very good. And to explain the joke, the streets have no names because they have numbers, right? In the
yes, everything's numbered. There's I don't think there's a street in Espino. Well, that may be going too far. Very, 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 very few streets that have anything other than a number assigned to them.
Mate, that must have been harder than changing the time zone or spring saving time. Can you imagine? We will call this street Rua de Republica. No, we won't. We're going to call it 22. Okay. What about Rua de Vasco da Gama? Nope. That's going to be 96. That's going against a massive cultural trend, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and that's why I refer to Espino. I think it's a relatively modern, developed city in Portugal. And by modern, I mean like 1920s. And I just got distracted by speaking of birds. There's what we call a magpie in the U.S. Basically, a white crow that comes and visits somewhere near here every day. I'm trying to. It lands on the banister on my balcony from time to time. Yesterday, it landed, saw me sitting here, went, oh, flew away.
What's he doing?
Oh man, I want you to stay. So I put a little almond out there as a gift, a treat if it discovers it.
I think they prefer jewelry.
Maybe. Well, I did put a bottle cap out, and they might have said, "What a cheapskate." But we'll see. It's just all an experiment. But the order makes a lot of sense. It isn't just random numbers. So if you're at the very lowest number at the intersection of it would be e dois, because the odd streets run east and west, and the even streets run north and south. So you'd be at the intersection of e dois. It's going to be the farthest northwestern corner of Espino. And then the biggest number is going to be the southeast corner. So they go higher by going south and higher by going east. So it's not, it's all logical. It makes sense. But because it's a grid, it's like, where did I see that? Like I was looking for the Mayo store the other day. I said, I walked past it. I know it's in that area somewhere, and it's like, oh, that's right. I got to know what street numbers it's close to. And I didn't have.
Very un-Portuguese, isn't it? That's very interesting. An exception that proves the rule there. Street numbers where the streets have no name. Very good.
Yes.
We got a few more comments. It's actually coming up to 9 o'clock now, and I wanted to squeeze in a couple of these fantastic Antonio F. Portuguese comments. We'll have to come back to maps and memes. It was Frank Zappa, not a Portuguese saying, but the great American Frank Zappa. Sarah says, "Don't you eat that yellow snow," is where that originated. Very good. Jim, we're doing 2 hours a day, 5 days a week of language, and have to learn grammar terms in 2 languages. Yes, because we never knew them in our own language, did we?
Yes.
So we learned Portuguese, as well as pronunciation and sentence creating. Fun, you say? Very good. You should let them do it themselves. These are the lazy Brits, as otherwise they won't improve. Definitely a teacher speaking there. As long as they understand, that is cool. But us Brits are infamously lazy. What do you mean? I get it, but it's too hard. It's just going by the book as the teacher doesn't adapt to the level of the students. All that matters is the curriculum. Bad teaching. Oh, Mr. S not happy. Thank you, Jane. There is a market at the top of the tour there. You can buy everything from sledges to slippers and cheese. That sounds like a great party, doesn't it, James? A sledge, some slippers, and some cheese. What a great night out.
There's a market at the top. I don't understand where
top of the tour. We're back within snow, back in the land of the snow there.
Oh, okay.
And a knife. You can buy knives up there, I noticed as well. And leather jackets, I think, as well. It's amazing, amazing place. Mel got sunburnt working on the land in the past 2 days. Body not conditioned to the warm yet. Yes, and the sun much stronger in Australia, but still has the winter white coat. Very funny. Be careful, says Pete as well. It's very nice to have such a teacher. It makes a big difference learning-wise. says Mr. S. And so it's an abatonado cup. It sounds like you're looking for there, possibly.
Perhaps. I don't know what it's called, but basically it's a duplo size. And you go to almost any cafe that serves coffee, and you'll see they've got the little ones and the ones that are a little bigger. That's the ones a little bigger that I'm looking for.
That's the
Except
one.
those are all, plain white ceramic, or they're branded Delta, whatever is on the cup.
We can get some Sharpie pens and make some for you, James.
I made my own.
This is very helpful, JMC. 60-year Portuguese lesson to ask for diapers. Fraldas, first of all. Never know when you might need it. Very good. I really find Portuguese language is very difficult, says Gemini. When I have to form a sentence, I get it all wrong. I stick to English. Well, we can understand that. And I met a lady, a South African lady, the other day. And I said, as I do when I'm out and about, Olá Bom Dia, Tudo bem? And she said, oh, Allah. She kind of got a little bit tongue-tied. And then she heard me speaking English to my kids and said, oh, you're English. It's in a South African accent, by the way. She said, oh, thank God I can talk to you. I find it so hard. It's so hard, this language, and I'm too old. And I said, you know what? That might be part of the problem. You think it's really hard and you think you're too old. And she said, yes, because I am, and it is. And I was thinking, okay, you're probably not gonna learn the language then in that case.
Yeah, I realized that the toughest piece for me is hearing the language. So speaking it and listening. And what I have just recently realized, and I totally unconscious, is I just learned to tune it out because I didn't understand any of it. And what I should have been doing, is tuning in, even though I didn't understand it. Just hear the sounds, listen to it. And I wasn't listening to it so that's 3 years of time that I just wasn't doing what I really needed to do, thinking, oh, I'll get it once I understand it better, the structure and all the rest, it'll start coming. But that's the piece, is the thing that's difficult for me is hearing it. Yes. And therefore not being able to copy it because I can't hear it.
Yes.
I hear Stutikush. And I go, what is Stutikush? What is that? And it turns out to be 5 different words. It's like, yes. I was like,
yeah. Well, yeah. Keep going. Portuguese is hard for me, so of course you will. But I just stumble along, says Mel. The locals have been loving helping me and being patient. They don't care if my sentences are muddled. That's so helpful, isn't it? We have some wild misunderstandings. Excellent. That's what we like to hear about. Now, see how you get on with these. A little bit more of the language then. Antonio F. largely responsible for this amazing collection. I think there are over 500 Portuguese sayings now that we've amassed. Let's just do the ones that are on the screen here and leave you wondering. That's one we should include. Fora de horas urinar is sinal de enfermar. Urinating after hours is a sign of illness. So medical advice as well as vocabulary and possibly grammar there.
It probably means something completely different. Right.
Yes, I think so. That's a great gif as well if somebody's rushing to the lavatory. Formosura de mulher não enriquece o homem. A woman's beauty does not make a man rich.
And I'm only chuckling because the print is so small I can't read it. And then so now I'm trying to hear what you're saying. And I'm like, what?
Okay, I will slow down a whole lot. Okay, but a woman, just suffice to say, a woman's beauty does not make a man rich, James. Fraco é o padeiro que diz mal o seu pão. Weak is the baker who speaks ill of his bread. That makes sense, doesn't it? Don't talk yourself down, especially if you're a baker and your products. This is a good one, James. I wonder if you can bring your brilliant mind to this and decode it for us. Frada que pede para dois, pede para dois. Oh, okay, let me do that again. Frada que pede para Deus, pede para dois. A friar who asks for God asks for 2. What on earth does that mean, do you think? No idea. Okay.
Basically praying to God.
2 for the price of 1, deal?
1 is praying for 2. Oh,
Happy
maybe
hour.
I don't know. Where I would go with that is that it's both for the person who's praying and the person I'm praying for. But
oh yes, very good. Yes, excellent. França e Roma não se fez num dia. I think that's a global saying, isn't it? France and Rome, not made in a day. Usually it's like Rome wasn't built in a day, wasn't it? But France as well.
Yeah. In English, all you hear is Rome, but you can apply it to pretty much any place in the world.
You can't you? Even the smallest city.
Made in a day. Not even the newest city took time. So
true. Even Ishbia wasn't.
But it's not the literal. Obviously, these things are not about being literal. They're about making a point. It takes time is basically what it's saying. Yep. Things that are worth having take time.
Right. Thank you for your decoding. If you want these, go to the link that I've just put in the chat there.
So deep and profound.
No, it's very good. I've enjoyed your commentary. And thank you for staying with me over time today. Fraqueza, now é vício, mas conduz ao precipio. Precipicio. Weakness is not a vice, but it does lead to a precipice, James.
Huh, okay. Weakness.
Okay, it can lead you to a precipice, which takes us full circle to the urinating in the night, kind of in a funny sort of way. James, thank you so much. Have a great week. And JMC's laughing at my Portuguese. I think maybe as well, and us too, scratching our heads trying to understand these Portuguese sayings. Maybe the point is not to understand them. Are we trying too hard? Are we overthinking this? Maybe JMC. I wonder. Or
the thing with sayings is that they most often are not literal. So then you have to understand the culture and the history in order to understand the point they're trying to make.
Correct.
So it's a whole lot more than just the words.
And here's another thought. Antonio might be just making them all up.
He does have a great sense of humor.
That's right.
I just see how I'm trying to work this one out.
That's right. It's like a green tree speaks to a dying elephant. It's like, I wonder what that means. And it didn't have me thinking about it all day.
The train heading north doesn't always get to Porto.
Antonio F, if you're watching, we love you. Keep them coming. Thanks, everybody. It's a spare Monday, everybody. Use it well. Use it wisely.
Yes, they have an extra hour.
We've been robbed of an hour. We've lost an hour, and I'm still mad about it. Morning sunshine again. Morning to you, Hugh. Hugh of Azure is with us as well. Have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. And Tig will be back next Monday. Cheers, James. Have a great day.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks, Mark and Jane, and Karen and Jackie. Ciao.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl brings the